That's it.
That's it.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most egregious moments from TV shows that ruined their reputations or marked their declines in quality. Number 30, April Nardini, Gilmore Girls. This classic comedy drama had a pretty solid run. It would have been darn near perfect if it wasn't for the introduction of Luke's long-lost daughter, April.
I'm sorry, did you say your father?
Yes, see, science fairs have gotten so political lately.
Storylines like long-lost kids are usually heralds for disaster, and that is certainly the case here. Not only was April herself pretty bland, maybe even a little irritating at times, but she introduced an absurd element of soap opera into an otherwise cozy show.
Did your mom explain that this isn't necessarily a one-time thing? I was thinking maybe we could make it semi-regular or even just, regular.
Okay.
Good.
She completely upended the status quo and seemed like nothing but a plot device to stir things up. Drama for the sake of drama, in other words. April didn't fit, and she kinda ruined everything. Number 29, Agrestic Burns Down, Weeds. Sort of a funnier Breaking Bad, Weeds chronicles the illegal activities of Nancy Botwin, a typical suburban soccer mom who turns to weed dealing after her husband dies.
Give me a little respect. I'm the biggest game in the private community of Agrestic. Drugs sell themselves, biscuit. You ain't
The show was a critical success for its first 3 seasons, when the town of Agrestic was still, a town. In the 3rd season finale, Nancy burns her house down to destroy incriminating evidence while the rest of Majestic faces wildfire. Removing the primary setting and starting anew elsewhere was certainly a bold creative decision, but it was a huge swing and a miss. Few liked the new setting and the removal of the unique concept of a drug-dealing soccer mom, so the show's reputation went up in smoke. Number 28, the musical episode, Grey's Anatomy. We don't know why TV shows keep going to the musical episode well. They almost never work. They're often an odd standout at best and a show-ruining debacle at worst. Unfortunately, Grey's Anatomy belongs in the latter category.
Life's like an hourglass glued to the table. No one can find the rewind button now.
The medical drama was going quite swimmingly until season 7, when Shonda Rhimes penned the wildly divisive Song Beneath the Song. The show's first musical episode, yes, first, it received some harsh reactions from both longtime fans and critics.
You got me running on sunshine. Ain't no clouds getting in my way. I must be running on sunshine.
Many things, from the choice of songs to the subpar singing and bizarre tone, were criticized. For many, including lead actor Patrick Dempsey, the idea of doing a musical was, quote, a big mistake. Number 27, Elsa, Once Upon a Time. A sarcastic, "Oh look, it's Elsa, what a surprise," appeared to be the main audience reaction of the Frozen star appearing in ABC's Once Upon a Time because it was a twist that pretty much everyone saw coming from a mile away. Considering the wild, pop culture shattering success of Frozen, it was only a matter of time before Elsa intruded upon the world of Once Upon a Time. But her inclusion didn't feel warranted, as a Disney princess from 2013 did not really fit with the show's fairy tale Once Upon a Time theme. Some saw introducing the most popular character in entertainment for the sake of hype and ratings as a desperate attempt at relevancy.
I have a surprise for you.
Really? Because surprises tend to be hit or miss in this family.
This one you'll like, I promise.
And finally, fans were split on the resulting Frozen arc, with many voicing their displeasure at its various plot elements. Number 26, the disaster episodes, Desperate Housewives. A fun satire on suburbia, Desperate Housewives was an enormous success, winning many accolades and becoming a ratings juggernaut for ABC.
Carolyn Bigsby had planned on it being an ordinary day.
You come out of there, damn it!
But as every housewife knows,
damn it, nobody goes anywhere.
Plans change.
The show always towed a tricky tonal line, often veering between tantalizing mystery, absorbing drama, and scathing satire. So few knew what to do with the show's famous disaster episodes. an annual tradition between the 3rd and 7th seasons. These episodes saw the characters of Wisteria Lane living through some type of dramatic occurrence that would inevitably kill off an antagonist. For many, these episodes were just too campy and only served to lazily eliminate a problem. Number 25, Jack's Family, 24. For 5 seasons, one could make the argument that 24 was the best show on TV. It was probably the most exciting, with thrilling storylines, a unique time-based concept, and some brutally gritty drama.
I can't even begin to imagine what you went through over there, Jack. But there's a reason you're here now.
And then season 6 happened. The main problem with this batch of episodes is the inclusion of Jack's father and brother, who are revealed to be terrorists working with Charles Logan. By making the antagonistic threats a part of Jack's family, the show veered way too far into soap opera territory, and many complained that the storyline was ridiculously contrived.
There are 4 more bombs out there. This isn't a joke, Gray. Tell me now, how do I find McCarthy?
The nuclear bomb and its mind-boggling lack of repercussions certainly didn't help. Number 24, William's Parentage, The X-Files. Had this classic paranormal thriller already jumped the shark before its divisive revival? Maybe. The conspiracy storyline was a hot mess that didn't go anywhere, and Mulder's absence in the 8th and 9th seasons was painfully felt. But the shark was officially jumped with My Struggle 3, which opened the 11th and final season.
Dana and I have a history, a very important history. That goes back 17 years.
Here, it's revealed that William is not actually the child of Mulder and Scully. The cigarette-smoking man admits that he secretly impregnated Scully with alien DNA, making Will some kind of hybrid with superpowers.
Mulder's not the father. I'm asking, who's the father? I am. William is my son.
Even by X-Files standards, this is silly, not to mention a complete slap in the face for the Mulder-Scully shippers. Number 23, House and Cuddy Kiss. House. It's pretty much a rule that the longer a show goes on, the more likely it is that the main characters will hook up. Yes, even if they had seemingly few serious romantic feelings towards each other. Case in point, House and Cuddy. The 2 first lock lips in the 5th season episode Joy, as House tenderly consoles Cuddy after her adoption falls through. Thus began a wildly unnecessary romance that filled the otherwise cold and gritty drama with a derivative will-they-won't-they subplot. It also ruined the character of Dr. House. Suddenly he was Mr. Romantic, caring less about his patient's health and giving cheesy speeches about love.
Words don't matter, actions matter.
You're really gonna take a stand here? You can't say it.
Nope.
Why?
Because I forgot to grab a V.
With that kiss, House lost its identity and became just another ho-hum medical drama. Number 22, Not Vaughn, Alias. Created by the legendary J.J. Abrams, Alias is a classic piece of sci-fi television. But it hit a major speed bump with the horribly planned twist of not Michael Vaughn. Sydney's handler and eventual lover, Vaughn revealed in the 4th season finale that he was not actually Michael Vaughn, and that he was not allied with the CIA.
I don't understand, Vaughn. What are you telling me?
Well, for starters, my name isn't Michael Vaughn.
Unfortunately, an ill-timed and painfully contrived car crash keeps him from revealing more. What follows is a total mess of a subplot that includes a kidnapping and a fake-out death. It's like Abrams and his team wrote a twist for the sake of having a twist, not actually having any idea of where it was going or how to resolve it. Number 21, Buffy is Resurrected, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We're just gonna say it. Fake-out deaths are the worst, especially when they involve the main character. They're often an uninspired way to generate drama, and the "oh wow, they're actually alive" reveals are not usually shocking, as we never buy their deaths in the first place. One of the worst offenders is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which ends its 5th season in startlingly dramatic fashion with the death of its titular character.
Don, listen to me. Listen.
I love you.
Her sacrifice is both emotional and meaningful, and it concludes the overarching story in a satisfying manner. Enter season 6, and no way she gets resurrected. It's unoriginal, it's boring, and it ushers in a darker era of the show that many fans believe is both unnecessary and inferior. Number 20, Season 9, Scrubs. The final season of Scrubs felt entirely unnecessary. By the time the show's 8th season wrapped up, it felt like everything had come to a close.
8 years of great memories. This place will live forever.
But then season 9 came along with a mostly new cast of characters in a new location. Only a few fan favorites were delegated to supporting or cameo roles. Although it was supposed to feel like a continuation, it essentially felt like a different show.
Part of me hates how familiar this seems. I hope I can find a way to make this all feel new.
Oh my god, the first day of med school. Everything is so new.
And to be fair, that is what show creator Bill Lawrence intended it as. But network executives meddled to keep the show under the same name.
Oh, good God.
While it might have found more success as a spin-off, it definitely didn't succeed as the technically final season of Scrubs. Number 19, Dan is Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl. Throughout this drama series, the titular mysterious character of Gossip Girl narrates the show while revealing embarrassing and juicy details about people.
Hey, Upper East Siders, Gossip Girl here, and I have the biggest news ever.
In the final episode, it's revealed that Dan Humphrey, aspiring writer and love interest of Serena, was the mystery person. But this wasn't exactly a clever reveal.
This is a hell of a thing you pulled off, kid. I'm in awe.
Dan being Gossip Girl creates a whole host of plot holes within the show. These include occasions where Dan couldn't have posted as Gossip Girl, when he leaked compromising info about himself, or went after those close to him.
You told the whole world about her losing her virginity.
No, she sent that tip in herself.
Most bafflingly, there were times when he reacted to posts he allegedly made with shock when he was alone. This one reveal made the show make less sense and left it worse off than before. Number 18, sharing Timmy's Godparents, the Fairly Odd Parents. In any long-running animated show, it can be hard to keep things fresh. Fans noted that the Fairly Odd Parents tried to change up its formula with major missteps. The introduction of side characters like Cosmo and Wanda's child Poof was the first bad sign. Later on, they had to welcome Timmy's fairy dog. By the time the Odd Parents got a second godchild named Chloe, it was clear the show had lost its magical touch. No matter what character you think is the worst, most fans can agree that disrupting the show's central dynamic was an awful idea.
Without further ado, I give you the perfect human, Chloe Carmichael!
By desperately adding extraneous characters, the Fairly Odd Parents had fans wishing for the good old days. Number 17, All a Dream, Dallas. The season 8 finale of Dallas saw the death of Bobby Ewing. Throughout season 9, his loved ones and viewers mourned his passing.
Thank you for coming, Harlan.
Oh, I'm so sorry, honey.
But everyone was more shocked when they got a shocking finale cliffhanger where Bobby's ex-wife Pam discovers him in the shower.
Good morning.
The season 10 premiere wildly reveals that the entirety of season 9 was all just a dream Pam had. While Dallas continued afterwards, audience trust was understandably shaken when they learned an entire season of the show they were devoted to week after week didn't really happen.
It's over. None of that happened.
Number 16, Winning the Lottery, Roseanne. Roseanne was once the #1 show on television. However, during its final season, well, the first final season, the show took a drastic turn. The average Connor family won the lottery.
We won the lottery!
Instead of being a down-to-earth family in relatable situations, the characters were suddenly thrust into many outlandish plot lines due to their fortune. There were dream sequences galore, celebrity guest stars, and lots of nonsense that took the show further away from its roots. Even before the finale's last-second rug pull, fans agreed that Roseanne had lost its spark.
I began writing about having all the money in the world, and I imagined myself going to spas and swanky New York parties, just like the people on TV, where nobody has any real problems and everything's solved within 30 minutes.
The only solace was that the poorly received season officially became non-canon after the show's revival. Number 15, The Carver Reveal. Nip Tuck. Nip Tuck is a great guilty pleasure show because it's not afraid to dive into absolutely ridiculous territory. Throughout some of the show's early seasons, an ongoing storyline involved the Carver. This masked criminal's assaults left his victims disfigured and often in the care of the plastic surgeons the show focused on. Although the Carver's identity was much speculated about, it ultimately was a rival plastic surgeon to protagonists Christian and Sean named Quentin Costa. It was an incredibly obvious and groan-worthy turn. And after this storyline, the show only delved into increasingly absurd storylines to one-up it. Number 14, Cousin Oliver, The Brady Bunch. Everybody knows the cast of The Brady Bunch.
Must somehow form a family. That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch.
It's two parents who have 3 children each, their housekeeper and a random cousin. Well, it can be easy to forget that another cast member was added in the show's last season. The young Cousin Oliver was likely added to try to hook younger audiences into caring about the series.
Oliver! Hey, Oliver! Oh, hi!
While the show was already on the decline in ratings, many point to Oliver's awkward insertion as the final nail in the coffin for the Brady Bunch.
Wish you could have stayed with some other relatives.
Yeah, but I guess there's nothing we can do about it. We're stuck with them.
In fact, the character was so infamous that the addition of a kid character to a show struggling with ratings is sometimes called Cousin Oliver Syndrome. Number 13, Charlie's Death, 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen's exit from 2.5 Men is the stuff of TV infamy. Following a very public rant in which he disparaged the show's creators, the actor was fired. Within the show, Sheen's character, Charlie Harper, was abruptly killed off-screen.
I want to thank you all for coming. I know this is a very sad day for all of us.
Speak for yourself.
Ashton Kutcher was swiftly brought in to replace him. Even those who weren't Sheen's biggest fans had a hard time getting on board with the change. Kutcher's character completely changed the dynamic of a show that had already strayed far from its titular premise.
This is Walden. He's gonna buy the house.
Welcome to my humble abode.
Whether you thought Sheen was winning or not, most felt that 2.5 Men definitely lost out. Number 12, Marissa Shoots Trey, The OC. Imogen Heap's classic what you say refrain became the stuff of parody because of this moment. After finding out that his older brother Trey assaulted Marissa, Ryan gets into a fight with him. To protect Ryan, Marissa shoots Trey, leading to a dramatic cliffhanger. This twist was accompanied by an infamous musical cue.
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well, 'cause you did what you say.
Although this moment spawned many memes, it didn't do much to keep the show fresh or deliver a boost in ratings. Many point to this scene as the moment the OC jumped the shark. What'd you say? Number 11, Michael Leaves, The Office. The Office is one of the most influential and funniest sitcoms of the 21st century so far. A big part of its success is owed to its leading man, Steve Carell.
Today, I got up, I stepped onto the grill, and I clamped down on my foot. That's it. I don't see what's so hard to believe about that.
As Michael Scott, Carell delivered not only peak cringe humor, but also real heart and pathos to the goofy boss. But he departed the show in season 7. While Michael's emotional goodbye was touching, the show struggled with its direction going forward. Several characters were added or promoted to try and balance things out. But without Michael leading the show, The Office just didn't leave us satisfied and smiling.
That's what she said?
Number 10, Deb catches Dexter. Dexter. There have been plenty of points where this show about a serial killer has been said to have gone off the rails. While its infamous finale was criticized, the proverbial nail in Dexter's coffin came earlier. The season 6 finale sees Dexter's adopted sister Deborah catch him in the act of slaying the season's villain in a church.
Maybe everything is exactly as it should be.
While on her way there to confess her very non-sisterly feelings for him.
You told me you accepted me being a killer. I feel like if you love me, you'll accept this.
If I love you, I went to the church that night that you killed Travis Marshall to tell you that I'm in love with you.
Deb learning the truth was a plot point that could have had a lot of potential. However, it just put a character who'd already gone through the ringer in earlier seasons through even more trauma. This turn also damaged the one consistent relationship Dexter still had left on the show.
Do what you gotta do.
Number 9, Lois and Clark's first wedding. Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Well, we're getting married in 4 days, and I've never been happier in my life, and every time that things are going great between us, something happens. And I just know that something bad is gonna happen to mess up our wedding. I just know it.
Will they, won't they romances are tough to pull off on their own. But mixing them with superheroes is doubly difficult. Lois and Clark managed to pull this dynamic off, at least for its first few seasons. The show found increasingly ridiculous ways to stop their two leads from getting together at last. But nothing beats their first attempt at getting married. During this plot point, Lois is replaced by a frog-eating clone before we get into a further story arc that involves amnesia.
How are you feeling?
Fine, I guess. I'm sorry, do I know you?
Even the campiest Silver Age comics had less silly plot threads than this.
Don't be ridiculous. If I give you the gun, I can't shoot Lois. Duh.
You're not going to shoot Lois. You're not going to shoot me. You're going to give me the gun.
Number 8, Connor and Cordy. Angel. While Angel's son Connor remains a polarizing figure among fans of the show, it isn't until season 4 that he actually helps ruin it.
Let's give Cordy a little space. It's not like the world's gonna end right this second.
One episode sees Connor and Cordelia, his father's on-off love interest, have sex. This starts a literal apocalyptic event. Not only does the event herald doomsday within the show, it also marks the downturn in quality from then on. And the whole thing is just really off-putting. Their weird relationship and the fallout from their affair deserved harsh judgment. While the next season does shake things up, the shine was off the apple by then. Number 7, Season 2 and Beyond, Heroes. This superpowered drama had one of the most pronounced sophomore slumps in all of TV. Initially, it told a mostly self-contained story of ordinary people with superpowers coming together to save the world in Season 1. But Season 2 meandered through several new and often unresolved plot points before ending abruptly due to the writer's strike. The show never really recovered from the blunders made during Season 2, and seemed to flounder for direction. As much as we loved villains like Sylar, characters definitely overstayed their welcomes past Season 1.
I almost forgot how good this feels.
When combined with elements like time travel and uneven CG, it became clear that Heroes really lost its way. Number 6, Eric Leaving, That 70s Show. While this 70s-themed sitcom may have been about hanging out with a group of quirky teens and their parents, Eric Foreman was seen as the main protagonist. So when actor Topher Grace departed the show at the end of Season 7, That 70s Show was left without its central character.
This is weird. I mean, me leaving. It's like it's real.
The rest of the cast did try to forge on without him. However, the subsequent season 8 was just a mess. A ton of plot lines like Hyde's wife with an adult profession or Jackie and Fez getting together just didn't work.
Stop it!
You smelled first!
Well, I was thinking about Tootsie Rolls.
Fez, we're forcing this.
By the time Eric returned for the finale, the 70s were over.
I think it's time we honor all the brain cells that survived the 70s. Despite our best efforts, some of those bastards pulled through.
Number 5. Sherlock's over and under explained return. Sherlock.
It really bothers you? What? What people say? Yes. About me? I don't understand. Why would it upset you?
This modern update of Sherlock Holmes started strong with engaging spins on old mysteries and great chemistry between its two leads.
You're deciding. Deciding? Whether to come back with a warrant and arrest me. You think? Standard procedure.
Should have gone with him.
The series stalled for the first time due to the season 2 finale. In that episode, Sherlock somehow faked his death after jumping off a building. After years of fans obsessing over how he did it, the show returned with half a dozen possible versions of how it happened.
What? Are you out of your mind?
I don't see why not. It's just as plausible as some of your theories.
Look, if you're not going to take it seriously, Laura, you can...
I do take it seriously.
But none of them were definitive. Many viewers saw this as the creators thumbing their noses at the fanbase. Unfortunately, this kicked off a trend of increasingly incredulous twists that had fans longing for the early days of the show.
But he's dead. I mean, you told me he was dead, Moriarty.
Absolutely.
Number 4. Cliffhanger bait. The Walking Dead. Depending on who you ask, there were a few points where you could say The Walking Dead started shambling downhill. But most will agree that the finale of season 6 was a big mistake.
He broke the rules, so folks had to die. The one who fired the first shot, we strung him up to make an example of him. Could have stopped there.
The finale builds towards the confrontation with the vicious Negan. After he makes a show of randomly choosing who he'll take out, he slays one of the group before it cuts to black.
Taking it like a champ!
But the first-person point of view made it impossible to tell who got the bat. Fans felt incredibly put off by being forced to wait for months to see who fell.
You can breathe. You can blink. You can cry. Hell, you're all gonna be doing that.
To add insult to injury, Glenn had already received a fake-out death earlier in season 6. Making death into a big stunt felt cheap.
I need you to know me.
Number 3. The Mother Dies. How I Met Your Mother.
I'm serious. I like this girl. So here's the deal with the deal. Robin's my new best friend. Nobody bangs her.
Hey. She only rejected me 3 times. She's still very much in play.
Although the entirety of the sitcom's final season raised a few eyebrows because it's mostly set over a few days, the show's last episode got them really upset. After getting to know and come to love the titular mother Tracy at last, fans got their hearts broken. We see Ted finally meet her before his ever-present narration reveals that she later died of an unspecified illness.
Every sleepy Sunday afternoon, through every speed bump, every pang of jealousy or boredom or uncertainty that came our way, I carried that lesson with me. And I carried it with me when she got sick.
This bad turn was then followed by a reveal that Ted still has feelings for Robin. Since the show sank a season into tracking her wedding with Barney, it also feels like her time was wasted. Ruining the entire premise of your show and character development is impressively bad.
And that, kids, is how I met your mother.
That's it.
That's it.
No, I don't buy it. That is not the reason you made us listen to this.
Number 2. Literal Cork. Lost. This complex and mystical mystery-focused show was divisive and much discussed throughout its run.
You want to know a secret, Jack? Something I've known a long, long time? You're dead.
But the undebatable final straw for many occurred in its finale. An earlier episode in the final season had the mysterious island's immortal protector Jacob introduce a clever metaphor. He describes the location as being like a cork, preventing evil from spreading to the rest of the world.
Cork is this island. And it's the only thing keeping the darkness where it belongs.
Unfortunately, it wasn't just a turn of phrase. Fans couldn't help but facepalm when the glowing source of the island's magical powers revealed in the final episode had a literal cork in it. Although we're all for striking imagery, even the show's diehard fans had to admit that this turn was a little too on the nose. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. King Bran, Game of Thrones. Season 8 of Game of Thrones is largely agreed by most fans as being a step down from the rest of the show. It included Dany's rash decision to become a Mad Queen and torch King's Landing. But her crimes were nearly forgotten when Bran Stark was named as the next king of Westeros.
Will you lead the Seven Kingdoms to the best of your abilities from this day until your last day?
Why do you think I came all this way?
He had spent a bulk of the last few seasons as mostly a passive character that delivered exposition to us and learned about the past because people told him to. And Bran's powers of foresight turned him into a mostly flat character who spouted assorted facts with tinges of emotion. Having him on the throne was a boring choice. Fans felt like they and Westeros deserved a better story than this. Did any of these moments make you stop watching? Let us know in the comments below. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.